Welcome. This is our fifth public Q&A forum. We're glad to see you all came out and braved the rain. We were hoping that it would stop by this time, and it looks like it's cooperating and should be easier going home than coming. We want to thank Fossil, our Friends of St. Hills Library, for their water donation and their ushering at the door. If you have any questions or need anything, they're at the doors ready to help you. So let's get started. I don't have a whole lot of things prepared tonight because tonight is all about you and your questions. We want to jump right in, and I know that there are things that you will want to be asked you. We're not going to be talking politics. We can't do that as a nonprofit. We can advocate, but we can't get into the finer details. But we know that you're fully capable of doing all that research and figuring all that on your own. So tonight, we're going to start with, here's our agenda. We're going to talk about an annual report with Erin. What a wonderful year we had, and she's going to fill you in on all the details. I'm going to introduce you to our board of trustees. We have 2 new board members that joined us in July. Our treasurer is going to give you our financial picture. And then we're going to talk a little bit about ethics and those words that keep getting thrown around like transparency and accountability. And we'll finish up with what it means to be a good leader and get you out there voting. So I'm going to turn it over to Erin, our library director. All right. Give me 1 second because I got my own card one here. All right. I'm going to try not to go too long with this just because it's kind of hard to really capture in a small amount of time exactly all the things we've done at Samuels in the last year in its entirety. So the statistics I'm going to show are for the entire this past fiscal year. So we do July 1 going to June 30th. And then I have 6 months worth of all the good things you've been doing at the library. So, of course, Samuels Public Library, we bring people, information, ideas together to enrich lives and build community. This past fiscal year, we've had a total of 15,983 patrons, and that's 2,014 new cards that we've given out to the community over the last year, which is pretty good. We also had 46,645 questions answered. Questions meaning every time you come into the library and ask us a question, whether it is, can you help me find this book? Or is there anything that you recommend? How do I access this database? Where do I go to find this information? We keep track of all of that to make sure that we're providing the best service possible and just seeing how much of our service and our help is being used. We also, most people still don't know that we are a major place to get anything notarized. We can just offer basic notary services, but we've seen a major increase in the amount of use of that service. We had about 563 documents signed throughout the year. So if you know of anybody who needs that done, please let them know. They can come into the library and do that. Programs, we've had an explosion with that. 925 programs in the last fiscal year. Part of that is our youth services did an amazing job during a summer reading program, which I'll get into a little bit later. They had a lot of fantastic programs that brought in a lot of people. But also with if everybody who's by now heard of Studio 330, that is our Makerspace and Memory Lab that just started in October. We have, the staff have been amazing, finding volunteers and other performers to come in to do different workshops and provide different programs on crafting, but as well as just use of the Memory Lab, getting your documents data digitized. And that's ended up being 20,894 attendees for all those programs. And then besides just attending programs, actual people walking through our door was 132,715. That's about as close as we can get to an accurate statistics for people walking through our door. And gives us a good look at how much the library itself is getting used. Total checkouts over 400,000, which is pretty on par for what we had last year. We'll be looking into new ways that we can get that number up for this coming fiscal year. And then last but not least, our amazing volunteers. We had 12,139 volunteer hours this fiscal year, which is amazing. I can't talk about our volunteers enough. They do so much for us. We wouldn't be here without them. So to show you what that looks like as far as comparison to last fiscal year, which would be FY24, of course, circulation, we were right on par for the most part. That's a 3% increase. You can see in our reference questions, database use, I didn't show that one, 18% increase. Most people don't realize there's tons of databases you can access with your library card. We're not just books, we are so much more than that. Our databases, a lot of them we get through the Library of Virginia, through our state aid. These are things like being able to get tutoring help for your kids, as well as veterans resources, getting you connected with somebody that can help get you connected to whatever you need with that, as well as job development, anything from continuing education that you need through your business or through your employer, to transparent language, which is just if you want to learn a different language, there's like over 120 different ones you can learn. So there's a lot that we offer with your library card. Traffic, that was a 4% increase, more people walking through the doors. And like I said, with the programs, we've really stepped it up. That's a 71% increase from last year and 7% increase in our attendance. Right on par with that, the meeting room, 6% increase in use of this room right here that you, anybody, if you're a nonprofit, even businesses, we do have a charge for that, but you can come in and reserve space. It's available on our calendar. And of course, volunteer hours, that was 37% increase. All right, general updates. Again, we had so much going on, but we did a lot of fundraising activities. We had our 4th annual puzzle contest that keeps growing every year. I want to give a big shout out to Play Favorites, who is our partner on that. Made about $925. It was a lot of fun. I recommend keeping an eye out because we will be trying to do that again this year. We had about 24 different teams, and we tried to make it fun so that if you paid a little bit extra, you could penalize another team by making them wear mittens. So we'll be thinking of other ideas.
Oven mitts.
And then going into February, we have our annual Day of Giving. We'll be doing that again this year. It's one of our more of a social media campaign, but we did have 2 amazing matching donations with a goal of raising $6,500. We actually exceeded that by about $1,000, so we made a total of $20,650. So we'll be hoping to see if we can't increase that again for next year. For the facility, we've been trying to keep everything in smooth working condition. So some of the things we've been trying to keep up with is repair work on our roof. Occasionally we do get some leaks, so we've been working on that. As well as you'll notice, we got the parking lot repaved, thankfully.
Not paved.
Repainted. Sorry. So it's looking great. And that's a good thanks to our maintenance team. They've been fantastic. Outreach, any chance we get. I know there's a lot going in the community. We try and get is when we have staff available to go out to the different community events. This past 6 months, ending June 30th, 2 big ones that we did was Free Comic Book Day. That's a great thing that we team up with Main Street Geek on Main Street, since it's a literacy program. Comics is what got me to read when I was a kid. So it's a great chance to go in, get free comics, and just kind of celebrate reading. And then, of course, Juneteenth was an awesome event we were able to go down and hopefully be able to do again next year. End of June, also, if you haven't had a chance to check it out in our children's garden, we now have a peace pole that was brought to us by Rotary Club of Warren County. They helped us get that installed and actually got the peace pole. It basically has a world peace saying in 4 different languages around it. And we had a really great dedication ceremony for that. And then, of course, the studio, which I've kind of already talked about, it's been doing absolutely fantastic. We now have walk-in hours Thursdays noon through 4 p.m. So if there's anything you're not sure about, you just want a tour or you just want to try something out, feel free to come in during those times, and there will be a staff member there available to just kind of walk you through some things or get you kind of thinking about what you might want to try out. Anything from sewing or the memory lab. So if you have documents you want to get scanned or things of that nature. We also have appointments available, but that is subject to availability of a staff member or a volunteer has the time to come in and do one-on-one help with you. So programs. And again, this is just a snapshot. We'd had so many. Winter reading, we have 2 reading literacy programs that we do every year, winter reading, summer reading. Winter tends to be on our smaller side, but we do it during January and March, or really January through February. It is for adults and kids, mostly kids, but adults, you guys get to have fun too. So there's like lots of fun prize baskets. Staff have a lot of fun trying to put those together. So the more you read, the more chances you have to win prizes. This program was Blizzard of Books. So for the kids, they had stuff ranging from STEM programs on snowflakes, cooking program that was Blizzard's theme. The studio did Valentine's Day card making craft programs and many, many more. Of course, we had statistics there. Try not to read everything. Going into March and April, again, snapshot of just the programs. The Sheriff's Department has been amazing. The sheriff comes in occasionally to do story times that are very popular. We arranged about 30 kids or so every time, and it's been a blast. We absolutely love having them come in. And any of our community partners, we wouldn't be able to provide the amount of programs that we do if it wasn't for them bringing their expertise. Another one of those partnerships, we work with Virginia Works is doing a job fair every other month or so to provide opportunities for people to come in if they're looking for employment. But they also help with workshops and things like that for job development, which is a big boon because our staff's fantastic. We can get people help and started with that. But for anything more in depth, they're a great resource to help to go that little extra mile. For the studio, we are also starting doing a craft swap, so keep an eye out for that for next year as well. That's where if leading up to that event, if you have anything you're trying to get rid of, bring it into the library. We'll pretty much take anything. And during that day, it's a chance for you to come in and find out if there's anything else you'd like. And then we also had 2 other really awesome ones. One towards St. Patrick's Day with one of our local authors, Hein Marshner, did a Learning the Irish Language 101, which was great. Hoping to do something like that again next year. And then one of my personal favorites, the Bigfoot Experience. So we had a Bigfoot cryptid program as well that was pretty popular. It's the second time we had this gentleman back, and it was a lot of fun. And this one you've heard a lot. So in April, we do our Taste for Books event. This is our annual fundraiser. This was the biggest and best one we had done yet. We had over 21 table hosts. These are businesses and other local organizations in the community that have tables that everybody can go around and learn about what they're doing. We had well over 300 tickets sold. I know we had more than that in the building, and people had to find very interesting ways to park. So good problem to have. But the best part is we did raise over $35,000. And we are hoping to be able to top that next year. Summer reading, it's like winter reading, of course, but we try and do bigger and better. So we do that between June and really July, but it kind of goes a little bit into August. This year's theme was Color Our World. We had a huge kickoff event, Alice in Wonderland Carnival with a performance by the Bright Star Theater. Over 300 people came to that one. And then, of course, we have programs going throughout the summer. This was actually the most we've ever done. Adults had topped at 194 registered. Kids was 727. And we kind of mixed it up between books read and minutes. So 31,282 just for the kids' books, and well over 400,000 minutes read, which is years and years and years worth of read. So. And the last bit of programs, just to bring up the rest of the fiscal year. Part of summer reading, we do a tiny art show. This was the 4th annual one, and we're doing it again next year. And it just keeps getting bigger, and it just even better. So tiny art is you just come in, get a kit, you do an artwork of any kind on we usually got by 4 inches. And we will show it in the library throughout the month of July. We had over 283 kits that were picked up, and pretty much close to that. So 236 actual pieces in the show. And like I said, we have that up all month long so people can come in and enjoy what others are doing. And then for some of the kids programs, we had a reptile show because kids love reptiles and they love being able to wrap giant snake over their shoulders. So that always brings in everybody. So again, we're hoping to have more of those animal programs coming into the future. And just a couple other programs. We had a drum show for the kids as well. And adults line dancing. that was surprisingly very popular, and we're going to be doing more of those in the future as well. So, and these, again, this is just a snapshot. So if there's anything else people are interested in seeing, please let us know. We do have a suggestions box out front, or even just shoot any of the reference desks or our emails. We love to be able to hear from the community on what you're interested in seeing. And that's not just with the programs, any of the services you might think of, our collection. We want to be able to give the best of pretty much all of our resources to Warren County. And that's it. I know I went through that really fast. I apologize, but.
Okay. Now for a little bit of interactive fun. So I get to play I get to help make up games for Taste for Books, and if you don't get to come to Taste for Books, you can participate in this game. All right, who has a penny? To dig into your purses and your pockets and see if you have a penny. This game is called In for a Pound, In for a Penny. All right. Our first, a dime. You got a dime. Here's a penny. Oh, here we go. All right, there's 10 questions and a handful of pennies. So the game goes, I'm going to ask you what you know about the library. And if you already know it, I will give you a penny. If you don't know it, you give me a penny. Because the library is struggling for every penny it can get. All right, who likes to go out into nature? Who enjoys nature? Okay. Who's at it? Okay, so where's she going? All right. Erin's going to be the penny deliverer. Do you know where are you going? I think this lady right here. Marie. Not you. Oh, no. Right there. Okay. Do you know that the library, you can check out state park backpacks, complete with free entry and parking passes to all Virginia state parks, complete with maps, magnifying glass, nature books, etc. Did you know that? No. Okay, you're going me over and down.
So we can play if we don't have the penny, if we can ask the question.
We better win.
I knew that.
All right. Who has internet or laptops at home? All right here.
All right.
Do you know that you can check out a laptop or you can check out a hotspot or both for free at your local library?
Yes, I did know that.
Okay, give that lady a free.
I am.
Does anybody belong to an HOA, nonprofit, church group, Republican Party, Democratic Party? All right, great. How about purple right there? Do you know that you can rent a meeting room, a study room, for free at your local library?
I do.
You do.
To be here, I did just love.
Okay. And you listen to Erin too. Okay. Who owns a mobile phone? Elma, yep. Fold your hands up. She'll find you.
If you own a mobile phone? Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you know that while you're in the library, you can charge your mobile phone, no matter what type of phone it is, at one of our charging stations?
I did not know that.
Somebody keeping track of the pennies we're winning. And if you need help with any of the technological devices that you own, you can come to What the Tech and get a one-on-one help session with Miss Sydney back there is one of our tech volunteer helpers.
I knew that.
Oh, you knew? No, that wasn't part of the original. I need that pen. Okay. How about music? Who likes to download music?
Yeah.
Here's one. It's Samantha over here. All right. Did you know that the library has a program called Freegal? It looks like Free Gal, where you can download music, 3 songs a week for free from your local library.
I did not know that.
They're berries. They're yours.
Something every day.
They don't disappear like an ebook. They're yours to eat.
They don't disappear like an ebook. They're yours to keep. So by after 52 weeks, you would have quite a playlist of 156 songs. You can also stream, but it's very nice to be able to own your own songs. Okay, we're done. Wait. Who likes to read magazines? Let's try Kara over here.
UK penny.
A UK penny? It's a Calvete. Just make me jealous that you went on a trip and Okay. If you're buying magazines or you're a crafter, do you know that you can go onto Magster, Magzter, and look at magazines for free from your local library database? See what everyone's learning. We're learning so many more things at the library than you ever imagined. Who has children?
Give them a dime, Carrie.
Who's got children, grandchildren?
I don't even think it's called that.
Or no. Happening. Yeah. Did you know that you can check out board games before you buy them and try them along with DVDs, video games, everything but the popcorn for a family fun night?
Yeah, no.
We have a wide variety of board games, and again, Play Favorites is one of our sponsors. And if you're checking out a board game before you decide to buy it and want to see if it's, the family loves it, you could come and check out a free board game. Okay. Somebody out there has a grandparent or a parent that you would like to hear their voice in the future. We'll take this lady right in on our row. Did you know that the library has a sound booth, and with all the equipment that you can bring your parents, which in this case it's me. We're very transparent here. You can bring your grandparent in and capture their voices for the future. Or you could do a podcast. You have a new career. In the library sound booth for free at your local library. Capture those sounds, because my dad was a pianist. There's nothing I would treasure more at this point in my life than if I had captured my dad playing piano on tape. So think about all those voices, your voice, what it would mean to your grandkids, to your kids. If you could, stories. Yeah. What are their stories? Why did they work? How many times have they said to me, I didn't know you did that. It's kind of like, well, we did have a life before. So
She got off track. I did not know that.
okay. I did get off track. Okay. And who's doing ancestry?
I recognize.
Who hasn't? Somebody in the back. Do you know, for free, you can do Ancestry.com. You can do Heritage Quest. You can do Vet Now and look up your veterans in your family. Fold3 and Newspaper.com. All for free. You come in and you can dive deep into your family's history.
I knew that because of the library director, before she was library director.
You took her genealogy class. Okay. The last one is, we'll just say, who knows about notary services for your documents? I know, Erin hated bags. In case you didn't know, the library offers free notary services. So come in and get your documents notarized. You don't have to spend the money. Just come in and stop at the circulation desk. So September is Get Your Library Card Month. So now you have 10 reasons why you, in addition to everything Erin just told you about all the services, so reasons to come in and to get your library card. So thank you for indulging me with the game. So what do you like? Yes, there'll be a penny collection later. Okay, and I would like to introduce our vice president on our board of trustees, Scott Jenkins. He's going to talk about something new and exciting that just happened this very week.
I get to talk about good news. Hey. Now, I think most of you know that last year, about this time, we were announcing Samuel's Public Library had been designated as the Library of the Year by the Virginia Library Association for 2024. This year's awards are being announced now. There's going to be a recognition ceremony and banquet coming up in October. And we have 2 awards that we've won. So I get to announce those. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Supporters of Professional Associates Award, which goes to our Director of Operations, Eileen. I'm going to read a little bit and then I'm going to comment.
Oh, Lord. I'm afraid of the comments.
I joined the board last year, and I've been able to work with Eileen and the whole staff for about 15 months now, and they haven't kicked me out yet. So
Not yet.
yeah. Eileen began her professional life in the airline industry. She was an auditor and then in a managerial role with American Airlines, focusing on revenue accounting. When she came back to the Shenandoah Valley, we snagged her. And she started working for Samuel's Public Library, first as a business manager. And then in 2008 and 2009, she served as the library's coordinator for construction of this building and this facility, working closely with county officials to oversee the construction of the building and get it ready as Samuel's transitioned into this, at that time, brand new county-owned building. That was a huge effort. And that was in addition to the other work that she was doing for the library. So she was doing double duty. That was a huge, huge thing for us here. As the library grew, her responsibilities grew, and she became responsible for all of the accounting, the annual audits, facilities maintenance, oversight of circulation, and anything related to IT. Although she's not the IT specialist, she knows how to ask good questions and manage things tightly. So that's been essential. And with those expanded responsibilities came a new title, Director of Operations. She's been with Samuel's for over 22 years now. A long time. And during that time, 3 different times as we've transitioned into bringing a new library director on board, Eileen served in an interim role as the interim director to smooth those transitions and help the new director get up to speed. And that's a difficult position, sometimes requiring a lot of patience as the new person coming in is getting up to speed. So thank you for that.
You know how much I have of that.
Oh, you have more than you admit. But Eileen's exceptional dedication and her contributions to Samuel's Public Library over her tenure have significantly enhanced the library's impact on the community and its staff. She's been an integral leader at the library, advocating for the staff and for development opportunities. She has encouraged excellence in customer service and library operations, to elevate it up to the level of quality that we have now with dedicated staff and engaged patrons and volunteers. She consistently sets high standards and empowers the team to grow and to excel as professionals. Now, from my experience interacting with her over the last 15 months, I can tell you that Eileen serves as the glue that holds the operations together here. She knows everything, and she has the history and the context. And she doesn't just keep that to herself. She shares that and helps other people to get up to speed and understand. And that's a huge, huge benefit to all of us. She looks for ways to make our operations more effective, more efficient, more consistent, so that we can, together, the staff, the trustees, and the volunteers, do a better job of delivering the outstanding service that Aaron was talking about. And it's clear that her heart and her focus are both on keeping this library vibrant and alive for generations to come. So Eileen, we thank you for everything that you've done for the library and our community, and congratulations on this much-deserved recognition. Next thing I want to talk about is Samuel's Public Library received an Advocacy Award. Advocacy is doing things like this meeting today. We were recognized as for the fiscal year 25-26 for outstanding advocacy. And I'll read a little bit here from the Virginia Library Association's comments. Samuel's Public Library, with professionalism and resilience, has been defying the odds of the national wave of book ban challenges that threaten many libraries with defunding and closure. Samuel's Public Library is an exemplary candidate for the Advocacy Award, as it has chosen courage and perseverance and continues to be a beacon of knowledge and light through the unprecedented surge of book bans that have targeted libraries for offering inclusive selections of books with diverse representations. Samuel's Public Library is proof that libraries and other educational institutions targeted by book bans can persevere through these challenging times and advocate for a better future where all knowledge and information is accessible to everyone. I think that's a pretty powerful statement.
That's amazing. Yes.
And if you look back to Aaron's summary, you can see that we're not just advocating, we're delivering services to the community like crazy. Over 900 programs in 1 year. We're averaging, it's over 3 per day that we're open. That's incredible. And that's because of the staff, the volunteers, our patrons, our business sponsors, all working together. But Samuel's Library has remained firm in its stance, protecting the First Amendment rights and the right to read for all community members.
Yeah.
In response to Warren County Board of Supervisors' actions, the Board of Trustees for Samuel's has held several public forums like this one, 5 men, right?
Perspective.
To address the misinformation that some have put out there and to engage with the community, listening. We do listen and respond and look for guidance and improvements, and ensuring transparency about operations and finances. Additionally, your library has issued press releases. We've participated in community news platforms. We've held a ladies' silver tea to recognize our library's legacy of resilience and to celebrate the library's longstanding foundation of patron support that dates back over 200 years. It's a long time. Wow. We've repeatedly reached out to the Warren County elected officials to seek a way forward to renew the public-private partnership that has been so hugely successful over the past several decades. Okay. Now, something that's not up here that I also want to recognize. Now, we were recognized as the 2024 Library of the Year in Virginia. that recognition rotates to various libraries that have demonstrated excellence. And I'm really pleased to report that our neighbor just down the highway, the Massanutten Regional Library, was designated the 2025 Library of the Year. I'll tell you a little bit about Massanutten Regional Library. They were founded in 1928. They're not quite as old as we are, but they're almost 100 years old. They have 7 branches in Bridgewater, Broadway, Elkton, Broadows, Harrisonburg, Luray, and Shenandoah. They're a public-private partnership, just like we are. They're a 501c3, just like we are.
I didn't know that libraries did that in Virginia.
It's a collaboration between the city of Harrisonburg, Rockingham County, and Page County. They're our neighbors just to the south, being recognized for excellence. Maybe that 501c3 public-private partnership model works. Yeah. So we want to congratulate them on that recognition. And also, in looking a little bit into how they operate and what their values are, there's a lot of common ground between Samuels and Massanutten. You look at their values and their mission statement, and there's a lot of similarity in terms of making sure that they're addressing community needs, the entire community, protecting First Amendment rights and intellectual freedom. So it's really noteworthy to point out that alignment and being innovative. They don't have a Studio 330. I don't know of anybody who has what we have with Studio 330, thanks to the Mellon grant that we've got. But that's a good example of how we've been innovative, and our model and our example that we've set helps other libraries to pick up on those types of programs and inspire them to perhaps follow suit with that kind of a program to offer a makerspace. That's a new innovation, and we're pushing the envelope for libraries in our part of the Commonwealth for having a program like that, which is incredible. So I want to contrast some of the comments and some of the images that have been portrayed by some people trying to detract from what we do. We've been portrayed by some as out of control, ungovernable, unaccountable. Samuel's Library, in actuality, is a vibrant beacon of knowledge and light. And that's a quote taken from one of the VLA recognitions. And we take it seriously with our mission to bring people, information, and ideas together to enrich lives and build community. And in delivering on this mission, Samuels maintains an open transparency to its operations and finances. And we do that by complying with all legally required oversight with timely reports, which we also post online on our website, maintaining an active governance structure that reflects the diverse composition of our community population. You look at our Board of Trustees, and it reflects engagement from all of the magisterial districts and a lot of different backgrounds, professional backgrounds, different interests, different life experiences, which makes us a really strong and active and vibrant board. We complete annual audits on time. And we always pass. And we ensure that our fiscal policies and procedures support public accountability and transparency. We publish minutes to all of our board meetings on time. And we answer questions. If anybody ever has a question they have about how the library is operating, all they have to do is engage us and ask, and we'll be happy to sit down and talk about it. So a little bit off of the topic of VLA awards there, but I wanted to look at Massanutten Regional Library and compare them with what we're doing. There's a lot of similarities, a lot of good work there going along, and I think we should be very proud of what we've accomplished, proud of our staff and our program delivery, and look forward to another great year. Thank you.
Thank you.
We go in early October to pick up our plaques and we can add them to the wall with all the other awards. Just one more thing for you all to be proud of. Our board of trustees, we have quite a lot of them here tonight. You met Scott. I'm Melody Hotek, for those who don't know me. Over in the far end, if you want to stand up, is Lisa Cobb. On our website, you'll find a bio and a photograph of each and every one of our trustees and the district that they're representing. New to our board is Karen Battle. I'm going to ask her to come up and introduce herself. Yeah? And then we'll get to the rest. I'll just finish off with, here's Madeline Hickman, Louis Moten. On the far end is Joan Richardson. Lori. Blank space. Lori George. I'm for fear. Gene's going to come up and introduce himself after Karen, and then Michelle Lesher. We have a few that couldn't be here tonight, and but you'll find the full. We are allowed to have between 9 and 15 board members, and so right now we're at 14, and a few that will be coming off in July. So we'll begin the new process starting in January, February for looking for new board members. But right now we have 2 board members who started in July, and so let Karen just give you a little heads up about her background.
Good evening. Thank you. So 2 months in, it's been a busy time already. I won't take up too much time because, as Melody mentioned, our bios are on the website. But I'm a graduate of Northeastern University in Boston after attending high school in Northern Virginia. And my first career was in criminal justice. I was a probation and parole officer for the Commonwealth of Virginia in Arlington County for about 14 years for adult offenders. And then I became the director of the Victim Witness Program in the Office of the Commonwealth's Attorney of Arlington County. A mouthful. I took a bit of a detour from criminal justice after that first 20 years and worked for a custom home builder in Fauquier County. After that time, I went back to public service and working for local government for the city of Falls Church, and that was in 2008. So there I worked with contracts management for the Department of Public Works, and I still work remotely, just 1 day a week now, about to fully retire in December, so looking forward to that, and to be a little more time to devote to library stuff. I built my house in Warren County, down on Mountain Road about 5 years ago now, and still learning a lot about the community and about my library as well. I really wanted to do something that I felt was meaningful in this community and to the community, and became interested in joining the Board of Trustees. And I do a lot of creative things. I do a little woodworking. I do a maker night for the women in my neighborhood once a month, and just enjoy creative, artistic stuff as well. So thank you. And again, I do feel honored to be part of this wonderful board.
I tell you. For you all that don't know who I am, my name is Gene Kilby, and I'm a homegrown Warren County Front Royal resident. I attended Warren County High School. If any of you have any age on you, you know about when Warren County had a winning football team. So you know that I played football for Warren County. I used to be a kicker. I was one of the last, what they called the last iron men. I kicked off, kicked extra points, kicked field goals, played offense, played defense. And that gave me a little bit of a good chance in getting a scholarship to Howard University in Washington, D.C. While at Howard, I was able to obtain a college degree through playing football because they paid for everything. And all I had to do was make sure that I kept my grades up. And I had a father that made sure I kept my grades up. I'm the new kid on the block for the library board of trustees. But my career has spanned over 40 plus years. When I talk to individuals, a lot of people think that I'm lying about some things, but if you work for 40 years, you've done a lot of things. My first employment out of college was with General Motors up in Warren, Ohio. I was a production supervisor up there. After working for General Motors, I wanted to change my career because my degree was in business management, but I also had a major in civil engineering and mathematics and management. So I decided to change careers and I went into the computer programming. So I worked for J.C. Penney's and AT&T, I guess for around 15 years. So that was a change in my career. And plus I'd moved to Atlanta, Georgia, which was really nice back during those times. I'm grateful for being asked to serve on the Board of Trustees for Samuel's Public Library because I believe that I have developed some skills over the years that I could bring some value to the board. And what I'd like to get out of the board is for Aaron to teach me how to speed talk. You know, because for some reason, I'm just a little slow and deliberate. So I hope to be around for a while, and I hope that I can add value to the Board of Trustees. Thank you all. Thank all of y'all for signing up for me.
Oh my gosh. I encourage you to go onto the website and look at the board bios. This is an incredible board, and I'm extremely honored to be working with them these past 3-4 years that I've been with the board. Each and every one of them has so much to bring and are helping to guide this library in such a good direction, which is reflective in our performance measurements, as you can see that Aaron showed earlier. Moving on, we're gonna talk a little bit about finances. And so from this point through the rest of the program, just if you have a question at any time now, just feel free to raise your hand and we'll do questions. I know you're all being a little shy, but I know you've got questions in you. So Michelle Leisure is our treasurer, and she's going to come up and talk about our financial situation.
I think it's no fair that Scott gets to do the good news.
Yeah.
And I have to deliver the financial. Anyway, so financials. So the good news is we are at 50%, and thanks to everyone, we are at 50% funds raised. You'll see we also have this on our website, right? Mm-hmm. We have a measurement to say where we are with the funds raised. Obviously, we have no Warren County funding, and that was solidified last night. So, one thing about me is I'm a numbers person. I'm just going to give a little thing here. I'm a numbers person, and then I'm also optimistic. Numbers is, they speak for themselves. Optimistic is everybody wakes up to be the best version of themselves that day. And if you think that way, for everybody you meet, all your work interactions, it works. So I thought that when the bid came in from the other company that the board reached out to, our people reached out to, that was the same amount that we were saying that we needed for funding, that it was going to be a done deal, that we would come back to the public partnership, and that we would be funded. So obviously heartbroken. And again, I'm a numbers person. The numbers were the same. To me, that also screams that we are efficient. If there's a question of efficiency, I don't know what it is because we haven't received it. But the numbers that came in from the competitor were the same as ours. So very confused about what's going on right now, as I think a lot of us are. But the good news is we have a lot of support, and we thank everybody. That's for sure. We couldn't do it without everybody. So donations so far we're looking for 1.2 from donations. We've got 254 that are still coming in from state aid that gets paid out quarterly, so that helps us. And we have, some fines and fees revenue. Now, our expenditures, the biggest one, I now always say this every time we have these meetings, our number one asset is not the books. It's not the databases. It is the people here. And everybody who walks through these doors knows that. These people are fantastic. They've gone through a lot these last few years. So our primary expenditure are the people, which are our number one resource. We've got some books and related. I think all of that comes from state funding. That gets spent there. County building maintenance, as you all know, we got we have to fund our own county maintenance. That kind of came in before everything else. But we do have $68,000 for county maintenance. And then we have some other, miscellaneous expenses. But that's, again, where we are. If there's anything on that, anything else?
The next slide has a state fund in it.
Oh, the next slide is state funding. Okay. Yeah, so this is the uses of the Virginia State Aid. So again, 76% of it goes to the books and library materials. For many systems, state aid is the only funding source for materials. 2% are salaries for professional librarians. You have to have, we can't use that money unless there's certain requirements that follow Virginia State Aid. So they have to have an MLS. We've got how many people on staff with an MLS? Four people on staff with MLS degrees. Fabulous. 12% goes to equipment, including computers, furniture, automation systems, etc. Okay, is that comments? Okay. So any questions on financials? Yes.
I actually have a question about the endowment fund. Is that going to be discussed?
Okay, the endowment fund. Yes.
So say that again.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I actually had a question about the endowment fund, and I just wanted to see if that was going to be discussed later, or if I should ask now.
That's now.
Okay, so I'd like to know why the endowment fund can't be used for expenses.
Okay, the endowment fund it's a fund that we have. Everybody knows we have $1 million fund, but what we also know is that the state funding, along with the county funding that we've always relied on in the past, is still not enough to cover what we do here. And we don't want, we do go from just a normal, average library to a great library. We want a great library here. So the endowment fund there's rules that go along with creating an endowment fund, but we are allowed to pull 3% of that interest every year and put it into our operating expenses. So the reason that we like it at the level that it is, which is a little over $1 million right now, is that we can pull that 3%, and that 3% does make a difference to our services. Now, we raised, you can see 57%. So we raised about $700,000 so far. So we do expect to get through, I believe, March. We're going to try hopefully through April with what we're calling the emergency donor fund. That is different than the endowment fund. The emergency donor fund has been funded over $700,000. That keeps us from from having to use the endowment fund. Like I said, I was optimistic. I think we were all optimistic and hoping that we would get some county funding. We will meet with our financial person, to kind of understand what we can do next year if we have to dip it. We will most likely have to go into that endowment fund. But the more we bring down the endowment fund, remember, that's going to have years of impact because we will get that interest that we usually get. So that's where we stand with that.
So does that mean that if you don't get the funding, the donor funding, if you don't get the donor funding, can you access more than the 3% of the endowment?
We will have to. We will have to work with the bank that set up the endowment and we'll have to change some rules or not change the rules, so to speak, or change the mission. That endowment fund we created that for a long-term longevity, for long term.
Think 401k.
Yeah. Think of 401k. You don't want to dip into it. Expect, things happen. And again, we don't want to dip into it because we want to be here forever. And that helps us, all that interest helps us subsidize year after year.
Yeah. If it's not on. Thank you. If I could, a little more.
Yeah.
The endowment fund too is there for the long-term future of the library. And you want to do everything you can not to touch it. You want it to grow. We would love a day to come where maybe we don't have to ask the taxpayers to fund us, but we're far from there. And if we have to dip into that, that's never going to happen. So it's our safety net. If we grow it, it can be so much more than that. And the way that this donor emergency fund has grown, I feel as though we have a really good chance of reaching the goal we need to reach for FY26 to fund through that.
This year.
There will be most likely some national press going out this week about the defunding, the complete defunding of the library. And when we get in the national, that does help tick up donations.
And we can't express enough how much the community has helped.
Oh my
gosh! I mean, we can.
Unbelievable.
It's heartwarming touch. It's emotionally touch. It's fabulous.
Will the severe cuts in federal funding all over the place, but to, I guess, library and museum services, will that affect state funding?
I can talk on that. As of right now, you're talking about IMLS. No, that will not have an effect on us. We do not get any of that money directly. That goes to the Library of Virginia. But as of right now, we don't see any changes in services with that.
And one comment, I noticed last week when I was here that you had a sign saying we've been defunded and with the QR code.
Yeah.
And I think that would be great to send to friends on Facebook, because a lot of people I know around the country, with Facebook, and I've written about what's going on. I won't use the same word, but what's going on. And I get those responses, what are you talking about? So I haven't done it yet, but if I put that sign on Facebook, can someone use the QR code electronically?
Yeah, they should be able to, as well as I also recommend we do have, especially if we're getting more information out, we have something called a Substack. If you go on our website and I believe we have it as a subscribe. If you share that link, it'll take them to our Substack that has a lot of information over what's been going on.
Okay, great. Years. Okay, thanks.
I think it's a hilarious story. So, any other questions on the funding or? And again, right now, I have to also comment on the work that Ivy has done. She has scrutinized and scrubbed our finances to get them down to, to most to get them down to a minimum. So, yeah, and our staff and the staff here is taking on response. You know, we don't have a cleaning service. The staff is clean. We are really, Eileen and the staff have really made concessions and are doing the best we can to get this, you know, the great place it is. Amen. Thanks, you guys.
Okay.
How much did you receive from the county last year? Funding.
$1,025,000.
And where did that go this year?
24. Sorry, we didn't get any this year.
Where are they putting it set up towards the library?
They have put it to. I'm not going to dispute where they've put a hint to teachers, to fire, the fire rescue. You can't. You see, you know. Yeah. So it's. I'm not going to say it's. Huh?
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
As of last night,
But it can be fixed. It can be fixed.
Well, I would like to hear how that. I was going to say, I know the problem. I want to hear the fix.
Vote. Voting for the fix. Yes, vote. Early voting starts this Friday.
I've been marching since the 70s. Because I have stickers on my car. But if you don't come clear with who it is we need to talk to, who it is we need to quit supporting in the businesses in the company. Like this week, we're not supposed to be using. Well, it's the elephant in your room. I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah, he's in the office. We have not had conversation. We're confused as well because we don't. I will be direct. My email as Samuel's treasurer is out on the website. I have received 0 emails, inquiries from any elected officials asking for. So we're confused as well. Is that fair to say?
Am I allowed to speak here? Yeah.
I'm speaking as a private citizen. The library cannot be involved in political things. My name's Samantha Good. I'm the president of the State of Samuel's Library PAC. Our candidates will find the money come January when they get in office. So come out and vote. We will have a booth there. We will tell you who to vote for. Please.
Do you have a website? Yeah, website. Walk off a website. Okay.
Can give you my cards. Any
other questions for Michelle?
right this.
One misconception that we heard last night was that we chose this path, and I would like to state emphatically that this is not the path we chose. This is a path that was foisted upon us and dictated to us. It is only because of all of your insistence and your kindness and your donations that this library managed to stay open starting July 1. And we're fighting very hard to keep the doors open and provide excellent services at the quality that this county deserves and that you're used to. But we've had a public-private partnership for over 50 years, and we need to get back to that. That's our goal. We've stated that at every single forum, at every single email and every turn that we've reached out to the supervisors. We want the public-private partnership. We're willing to talk and negotiate, but make it clear that we've had no communication. So that needs to be stated very clearly. Yes, ma'am. You had another comment?
You're going to be able to tell right away, I don't live in this county. I don't get your newspaper, but I use your library. And I know that there are now cross-county support for different things. So, where else do you think, besides over the mountain, are people coming to this library? Because I'm in Rappahannock, and I'm in Flint Hill.
We have a lot of Rappahannock
Exactly.
residents who use the library.
We have the fuss right now about EMS and fire departments and stuff, how to host that.
Right.
If they can figure that out, we should be able to shift a little bit of money out of their Rappahannock. Because if you want to charge me
for my library card, I'm okay with
Interesting. So I think Eric can address this one.
Yeah. So if you're not here, where am I? I'm going to have to drive 25 miles one way to go get a library.
So one of the great things about being a public library, we do offer free services in order to be public. So for your library card, but we do offer reciprocal borrowing because we do get a lot of people from outside the county who do use our service and vice versa. So if you have a library card with us, you can get one with Hanley, you can get one with Shenandoah County and their system. Anybody that we are sharing borders with, so to speak, everybody can use each other's resources. As far as ways to support, please get the information out, get the word out to other people. And if you know anybody who would be willing to donate, please do so.
Can I ask one more question? I'm sorry. Big mouth.
That's why we're here.
Okay. Did I see somewhere that donations have come in from 34 states?
36 states across the country. Yeah. So when the news gets spread on a national level, we're extremely grateful because people who are going through similar causes with their own personal libraries understand the challenges and be it $10, $25, but we have 36 states across the country that have reached out and supported the library on some level. And so that's pretty remarkable. Yeah.
It's sort of sad, though, all these ideas. Isn't it a little bit sad, though, that all these states in the USA get to see how Warren County screwed up?
I personally don't know of any other library across the country that was completely defunded by their county supervisors and is not providing a library for its citizens.
Unbelievable.
So I will say that.
All right. To sort of answer a question up there about other people around here that support us. So not this weekend, but next weekend is the Friends of Samus Library book sale where we fill this whole room. And we have people coming from all over the state. We have people from West Virginia, Northern Virginia, all over the place. So it's a fun way to come out and meet all the people because while they won't let us pay for our card, they will let you buy books in here, which is fun and more.
Melody, I think you got one other thing that the people need to know here is that Melody and the Board of Trustees and the library staff have gone to every single Board of Supervisors meeting and had to listen to the lies every meeting. They said it was about fiscal responsibility, but they didn't say anything. What was the problem? They said it was about saving money. Then they were going to sign a contract with a company that was going to give us a second-rate library for more money. 10 years. Then they said it was about, well, the people wanted that. And then we voted no. At the primaries, we wanted someone who was going to support our library. Yeah. Well, it couldn't be about that, but they keep bringing up the same issues, and we're not going to let them get away.
No, no.
There's 36 states that are providing funds. I'm just curious, number one, about marketing. Who's your marketing person? Because I joined the library a couple months ago and found the services were wonderful. I really needed some assistance and got a lot of help. But I didn't know about it. I didn't know about the marketing. And they would never sell a box of Wheaties if they didn't have, sports figures and popular people. And they didn't have a good marketing plan. So that's the first thing about marketing. If people know, obviously they'll give. And then the other thing I'd ask is that if people across the country are giving money, why not do a GoFundMe page if it's not already there? And is it prohibited? And who's your legal counsel?
It's something we can check with legal counsel. We'll have to check.
It's a resource.
Right.
Yeah. As of right now, we do have our donation page on our website, which we tend to try and draw people more to just because it limits the amount of different places and the different amount of confusion of where should you donate to first.
And it links directly to PayPal.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amy Hayes. I'm the development administrator here. So if you do have any questions about making a donation, or if you have any marketing ideas or fundraising ideas that you haven't seen from us yet, please come up to me after this. I brought my cards. I can give you one of my cards. And I'm always willing to talk to people when I love sharing ideas. And again, thank you so much for everyone. I'm sure many of you in this room have donated to the library multiple times. And, you know, surprisingly, we don't necessarily like to ask for money so much, but it's kind of necessary at this point. And we are glad that, you know, people from all over are helping us because that takes some of the strain off of you all. But we sincerely appreciate it, and you'll never believe how happy we get every time we get a check in the mail because and it's another day to keep the doors open. So thank you.
Scott, so this guy has, you guys are making me get a workout.
One of my other hats is on the development committee, working closely with Amy. And one of the things that we took a look at earlier this year was consistent with our role in engaging in the community and with development. We established a business sponsor program. So if you're part of a small business or a small business owner and you'd like to be a business sponsor and working in partnership with us, you can talk to Amy or talk to me or talk to Aaron, and we'll be happy to explain that program and tailor it to your needs. My wife and I operate a bed and breakfast, mountain home, B&B, and we kind of prototyped what the partnership would be. And we worked collaboratively with Aaron to define what our partnership would be, which events were consistent with our company's mission and our purpose for being, that would also benefit the library, both financially and from a program perspective. So if you're interested in that as another avenue for giving and sustaining the library's operations, Amy's an expert, Aaron's an expert, and I'm a helper and facilitator.
There's the tone. Yeah.
Yes, my name is Richard Luce here, and one thing I'd like to see the library consider is a legacy planning type of training session for the consumer to understand. Just on the my career is life insurance and so on. I've been doing that for 50 plus years. And I can tell you that there are segments in financial planning that you can use that are just untouched or they're not well understood. One of those, just as an example, is life insurance. Mm-hmm. Life insurance can be transferred and donated, and you can get substantial tax deductions on how you do it. And it can be done with new or old or existing plans. So if you're looking for ways to get the library to get immediate access in some cases to money, that's one way. Another way is if you want to leave a legacy, you can do it, and you can amplify your money significantly, obviously, by taking a little bit of money in premium and turning it into a very large donation coming to the library. I think that's the kind of stuff that should be talked about.
Thank you for bringing that up. This is why we love our patrons. We have a legacy plan. We have documents, and of course, life insurance is on that. It's just getting the word out to people. And so that's in its early stages of trying to let people know that they can make a legacy gift, make gifts in their name, at their family's name. But I appreciate that. That's a good reminder for everyone.
So I don't know too much about what's happening, but listening to what you guys have said tonight, I just want to be clear. Was anything asked of the library prior to the defunding to prevent that option?
We've had no communication.
Well,
The
yeah, they asked, at a public meeting, Mr. Jameson sat up on the dais and said the way that we could come to the table with them is if we were willing to allow them to basically control the library through the Warren County Library Board. We would have to report to them, which we have repeatedly said we cannot do because it threatens our 501c3 status. He said that we would need to roll back our articles of incorporation to make the county the beneficiary of all of our assets should we dissolve. We're not about to do that. There were four things. It was the third one. So
The latest one was monthly reports, which they'd never asked for. These are things that financial transparency board members. They were the same.
those were, well, the other was they were mad because we wouldn't, they said we refused their FOIA requests. We never refused their FOIA requests. We asked them to submit them legally. And we provided, I mean, the FOIA requests were enormous. You're talking at least 1,000 pages of data I would have had to produce. And, boxes all over the place because it went back 25 years in some cases. And so the price tag was around 10 grand. We showed it to a FOIA expert who said, yeah, that seems about right. And they dropped it. They never came back to us. All they've done is complain about it since. They didn't want to pay the money, and none of them have to file a FOIA request as a citizen of the Commonwealth, not as a county government. And they had filed it as a county government. And none of them wanted to put their John Hancock on all these things because then they became financially responsible. So, it's all been incredibly disingenuous and less than forthright in how they've commented on it all.
Right.
But we're not willing to surrender what makes this library so special and have them take control of policy. Once they take control of policy, you're going to see books get banned.
Yeah.
And you're going to see all kinds of nasty things that we don't want our legacy to be. So.
But as far as the community,
Okay, I need you.
yes, sir.
All right, you trying to wrap up?
What? No, but as far as actual communication, we did it. These are things that are stated from the dais.
Yes.
And not communicated to us or requested of us on letterhead or in any official way that you would, in any official capacity, that you would expect a partner to contact you and say, we would like to see this happen, and then have a dialogue about it. And that's what I'm saying, that there was no communication. There are things out there floating around that they would like to see happen, but they haven't contacted us to. There's no actual request made. We did submit a draft MOA in hopes that we could, multiple times, in hopes that we could come to the tables. So that the discussion last night that said, it fell apart at the debate stage is like debate. We didn't even talk. We can debate it, but we haven't even had a chance to talk to one another. So there's a lot floating around that you have to know the full story about. So, yes, sir. You have a question back there.
Well, yeah, I just was going to kind of contribute to that as going back to 2023 when there was the initial clean up Samuel's library effort, and we thought that the crisis was over, that the supervisors had kind of backed down at that point. There was even some talk about it. Somebody reached out to me. There was going to be a documentary, and there was going to be this happy ending to this documentary somebody was going to make. And then it turned out that was just the beginning of the nightmare, and new supervisors got onto the board. And lately, I've been following the drama unfold from a distance, because I've been out of the area most of the time for work, thanks to the return to work order and the fact that I work at Patuxent River, Maryland. But I have been watching. I watched the September 2nd board meeting, and everyone was very passionate, and I think it does come through to impartial observers that the board that the supervisors are being pig-headed. I think that does come through. The one thing I would suggest is that the Christendom College stuff, probably those swipes miss, because I get it that it's a very conservative institution, and there may have been some people in the orbit of the college that might have been involved initially, but there's lots of closed-minded Protestants too, and I'm a Jew. There's lots of closed-minded Jews. It's not just Catholics, right? So I think that's probably not a winning argument, is all I would suggest on that. And who cares about their wastewater? I mean, in light of the library, right? It's not relevant to the library discussion. So I was just going to kind of throw that out there, but I watched people get up who are not public speakers, nervous, but with a lot of fight and a lot of passion, and I'm really proud of the community. And so we'll see what their next move is. But I was afraid they were going to take the library to court there for a while, and I don't think that. I think their whole Open Meetings Act. I'm an attorney. I think their Open Meetings argument is a spurious argument. It's just taking the mold of accuse somebody of something and then take some draconian action toward them, and that seems to be acceptable these days. Anyway. I'm really proud of everyone. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. That kind of brings me to
as I wander to this lady who had her hand.
one.
I do want to echo a little bit of what this gentleman just said. It does come down to a lot of people are vilifying the Catholic community. We have wonderful Catholic supporters, fabulous users of the library that
Paths members who are Catholic,
and this is a small group that's causing this trouble. The majority of the Catholics in this community are good, decent people.
Along the lines of the past couple of meetings, will there be any formal pushback from the library about some of Jameson's comments, his presentations? There was so much there that was just jaw-dropping.
I'll say that it's basically the same thing that is started in January of 24. It's that debrief, and it hasn't come off of that. We've addressed, if you go back and look at all the forums, we've addressed all of those points. The numbers are skewed. The numbers are inaccurate. The 94% is coming from a place on the 990 that includes state and federal and county and the Miller Grant and donations. So, and he's claiming that as public money, and that's just disingenuous. The county gave us at last count 68% and that was strictly operating. The rest will be made up with state money, a little bit of federal money, donations, fundraising events, that kind of thing. So it's the same over and over again. And it would take us all night to go point by point. And I know we're all tired of this. We just all want this to be over. But ask us your questions if you have anything direct, and go back and look at the other forums that we've done, because we covered the FOIA. In May, we had all 10 FOIA requests up on the wall. We covered representation by introducing all of our board members and all of their qualifications. So I can do that. I have it, but you know, we have to close the library at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, if I can jump in and just address that question a little bit, is you have to look at this, how those statements from Mr. Jameson have been structured. It's been during the county supervisor's individual report time, right, or it's been during a work session where there's no public comment allowed, right, or it's been at the closing comments. So as Melody pointed out, there's been no dialogue. We've been seeking dialogue, but Mr. Jameson takes advantage of being able to speak uninterrupted and unchallenged. Right. And in fact, when members of the audience have taken objection and tried to speak up, they've been shut down and threatened with removal. Mm-hmm. So you have to look at the tactics that are being employed there for him to get his message out, which is not a formal communication to us. It's more of a public statement of his that no one is able to rebut.
I think that's why it's so enraging, because you can't.
I just have to speak to this. I get a little riled up over this stuff.
I have Uncle Mylene.
The 990 issue where Mr. Jameson talks about 95% is public funded. The number on the 2023 990 for income is $1,953,994. They gave us $1,024,000. How is that 95%? Help me understand. This is a year where we got the Mellon grant. We had a lot of fabulous donations because of the book banning issue. It's more than disingenuous. It's either an outright attempt to not be honest about the numbers, or he doesn't understand how to read 990. And either one needs to be fixed.
So what gets thrown around are things like transparency and accountability. I just want to talk a little bit about that. So we are a nonprofit, NASA counseled nonprofits. We live by ethical principles, transparency, and accountability. So what does that mean? That means that Joan runs our strategic planning committee. We stick by our mission and our values. We protect patron privacy. We have integrity, honesty, and forthrightness, as you can see from our discussion tonight. We have respect and compassion for our patrons, donors. We just finished a board training where all of our board members got trained on what it means to be a trustee and what is the do's and the don'ts, signed a conflict of interest policy. And then part of what we must do is adhere to local, state, and federal laws. It's an IRS distinction that we're a 501c3, and that comes with its own set of bills. And so part of that is that we have to make available for public inspection annual returns, financial data, all of that through our website. And then we report to GuideStar. The 990 goes to GuideStar, and with complete disclosure, you get a platinum level designation that we're at the platinum level with GuideStar. All of that meaning is that we are completely transparent. So that if there's anything that you're looking for, it's going to be on our website. and if you can't find it on our website, then you come in here and ask us. So accountability, who holds us accountable? So I think that these terms can get thrown around, but when you look at what the definitions are, we meet and exceed the standards of these definitions at every turn. The state and federal authorities hold us accountable. Warren County Board of Supervisors have been holding us accountable every year through our public-private partnership. They're the ones who control the purse. We report to them every December with our budget request form. We started in 23, we started doing semi-annual reports that Aaron just gave tonight so that you could see the performance measures and how excellent this library is doing. And not sure what beyond that. We have one of their supervisors that sits with voting privileges on our board, and gets all the same information that everybody else gets. And before Cheryl Cullors, it was Vicki Cook for 2 years. Before her, it was Dolores Oates. Before her, there was Tom Sayer, Archie Fox. There's always been a county representative on the board with full voting rights. So I ask you, how much more does the library need to do to get this accountability question off the table, to get the transparency off the table? And honestly, if you have a suggestion, there isn't any concrete suggestions coming from the Board of Supervisors as to what they would like to see to make us more transparent or accountable. IRS governs us. We have to do, our tax exempt status requires annual reporting. We have to do the 990. All the 990s are up on the digital ones are on the website. The ones that were before digital, the digital world are in paper copies. All of our audits are on the website. The state of Virginia, you saw that where we get state funding. State of Virginia probably has the more strict requirements. There's only certain categories where we can apply this money, and they want to see that we use it, or you don't get it the following year. We file our statistics with Bibliostat and every year, and so there's information out there that they look for, and they compare the libraries across the state. So there is compliance there. Of course, we're following all the charitable rules. We file with the SEC. And then there's the internal board responsibilities. So our trustees are all volunteer. It's a governing body, and we're responsible for our own actions. It's a very large board, which is advantageous for us because there's always a wise voice there and with experiences that can weigh in on different topics. We have a finance and investment committee that looks at our auditors, and all of our financial information. Every year we have our financial advisor come and talk to us about our endowment fund and our donor emergency fund, where are our assets and how are they doing. Every November, our auditor comes and talks to the board about the status of the audit. And that's a third-party independent group that has no obligation to change the data. They look at all the data, and they're very strict. It takes Eileen months to compile the data with the help of the staff. And last week, the auditors were here. The audit is done, and we'll find out in November, all of the statistics for that. So we're all caught up. Audit's over. And then we have the public stakeholders. So you, the public, keep us accountable. You come to the meetings, you ask your questions. There's always a suggestion box. Aaron's door is open for any feedback. There are forms to fill out if you'd like books or you have issues. We have policies that are up on the website for everyone. And then the donors and beneficiaries. You're not making donations if you're not happy. So you're holding us accountable with your dollars. So what do we do to be more accountable to take this off the table? So I seriously want to know.
New supervisor.
How much more transparent can one institution be with a 200-year history, award-winning year after year, and a vibrant community that's engaged in making donations? I don't understand. These are clear definitions, and we're meeting all of these standards. So it comes down to trust. So let me try to wrap this up so we can get a few more questions in. Relationships have to be built on trust. Public trust refers to the confidence the public places in individuals, institutions, or governments to act honestly, responsibly, with integrity, and in the public's best interest. A lack of it can undermine the legitimacy and effectiveness of the entities involved, whether it's government or a nonprofit organization. Honesty. You have to be true to your word. You cannot say one thing and do another.
There will not be 1 second of time in Warren County when public library services are not funded. Claims of defunding the library are aimed at creating alarm and turmoil.
So I just wanted to respond to a couple of the public comments that were said tonight. First of all, someone said the library is not going anywhere, and I agree with that. We will always have the library. What corporation is on the operating end of that could change, but I don't foresee a library going away. I don't foresee the library being defunded or shut down, any of those things. That's not the intent here.
So you must be responsible and accountable for your actions. Where's the county's audit? Where are the minutes? Right. We cannot find minutes for many of the commissions and boards that are out there. I went to try to let me see if I can get to it. I went to try to go to the Warren County Library Award. No. Yeah. Well, I don't want to take time for this, but I went to go to the Warren County Library Board, and you have to sign in an account. Has anybody tried that?
Yes.
So you can't view the minutes. You have to have an account or try to sign in. That's not transparency. No. So what's good for the goose needs to be good for the gander.
Yeah.
It's where are the minutes? Why are we signing in to look at minutes? Where are agendas? Integrity. We must be respectful. Disrespect of the public-private partnership. We talked about the debate. There's been no debate available to us, no communication, nothing on letterhead when they canceled the maintenance agreement, nothing on letterhead when they canceled the MOA, nothing on letterhead or any announcement that the library services line item was going to be depleted in its entirety. And then no recognition, there's false allegations and no recognition of this institution as being a well-run and award-winning library. There's been a problem created where none existed. And now we're almost heading into 3 years of this. And I know we're all tired of it. And you ask what we can do, we can vote. Yeah. And not to mention the disrespect that was shown last night to a fellow supervisor. Mrs. Cullors did not deserve her own slide and her own accusations. And finally, you need to act in the best interests of the public. Time and again, the public is speaking out, but the supervisors are not listening. People see the situation for what it is, with no help from library leadership. We don't need to market anything. We don't speak out in negative ways. You all see it all exactly for what it is. And we all appreciate you voicing your opinions. Is it really in the public's best interest to fund the library? You pay your taxes, you see the numbers that the library produces, and the services that are provided, what it means to the community. And we have to get back to the public-private partnership. I fear we've lost our faith in the current supervisors, and our only option at this point is to vote.
Yeah.
We have a law. Voting starts Friday. The election officials have said you don't have to all go on the same day. It doesn't need
32 days of early voting.
Yeah, because it needs to be overrun on the first day. But early voting starts. If you're not an early voting fan, the election is on November 4th. Mondays through Friday, 9 to 5. Thank you.
And the last 2 Saturdays.
I'm slow. The last 2 Saturdays, October 25th and November 1st from 9 to 5. They're closed on Sundays and Monday, October 13th. Here's a link that's straight off of the Warren County election website. We have a display in the hall. It's a little confusing, the election, because there's Sport District, there's Happy Creek District, and they're electing supervisors. The other districts, North River, Shenandoah, and the upper part of South River, all have one ballot. But the lower two district precincts in South River have a different ballot because they're voting for, no.
It's a different district.
It's the delegate. So you all know more than I do already. So we're not here to tell you who to vote for, but get out there and vote, do your research. It's critical. It's very critical for the life of this county at this particular election. So more questions, but that's it for me.
How these go.
I had the same problem going to the library board trying to find their minutes and being blocked by having to sign it. I also went back and looked at what they said they were going to do. They were going to meet on a Wednesday night at such and such a time. And I looked at the calendar and they were everywhere without no notice. Where's their transparency and accountability?
This is from it. Did I understand you say that your county is not publishing in the newspaper your money and where it's being spent? You can't get to it? Is it?
It's very difficult to find her, but
It's not being published in the newspaper.
I don't know. I can't speak to that.
Anybody?
Anybody?
My county publishes it. We're little. They fight about every little penny, and it's in the newspaper.
I'd like to introduce Mr. Batchall, our new county administrator. Maybe he can work on
this. I don't know how long he's been here, but is this not the county that had a huge embezzlement problem? Yeah. Okay. Everybody that works in this town tomorrow, at some point, needs to present themselves with their name and address at your treasurer's office saying, get this fixed. You don't know where your money is?
They haven't completed their audit for 2020.
You don't have to have an audit. They have to present but am I wrong?
They do have an audit on the website. It's just
website's not good enough. How many people bother to look at it? You can't get to the website. Nobody looks at the website. It needs to be in your newspaper.
It was. The budget was published into the Northern Virginia Dais.
Okay.
Just place of a league right here. So I'm like, you guys lost millions of bucks a couple of years ago.
27.
Nobody was keeping a holders.
Just for transparency.
Yeah.
I would just like to know, with the new Board of Supervisors, how quickly could some of these decisions be unraveled?
I'm not a supervisor, but I'm told that they are going to be on it right away.
I can answer. I can answer for our candidates that we've spoken to as PAC. Our candidates are committed to, on their first day, making a motion to dissolve the Warren County Library Board and to rescind the ordinance that created it and to re-enter into negotiations with Samuels. And we thoroughly vetted our candidates to make sure that our candidates were willing to do that on day one in January.
I think the funding is gone.
No, there is funding available to be had. Things can be undone. Our candidates are prepared.
How quickly could the funding be reinstated?
I mean, they're prepared to enter negotiations immediately, so it should be quite quick.
Wheels turn slowly, and we're prepared to hang in there for a while. So we're not going anywhere. The goal is to get back to the table to get an MOA. If there are things that the supervisors are looking for, let's get them spelled out in an agreement, and we want to get back there. So,
We may have time for a couple more questions.
Real quick, I'm just curious, do any of the current BOS people come to the library at all? Do they even know what you do here? Have they physically been in the building much, if at all?
Cheryl Colors is an avid user. And that I can say. Others, it's private information that I'm not going to speak to. But I do know Cheryl's here regularly, and she's on our board. So, I'm on her.
I've never seen you. Oh, my good.
Any other questions? You all are wonderful. We appreciate you so much. You know that we do. And thank you for your attendance tonight. And please, if you have other questions that pop up in your mind, just let us know. Thanks.